In a world built by routine, where dreams often fade into the background, something new begins to rise. Born from passion, forged from purpose, crafted for those who never settle for ordinary. This isn't just another brand, it's a movement, and it's only the beginning.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And yeah, let me go ahead and address the elephant in the room. My hands are in my pockets because I got tired of flailing them around on camera and it just looked dumb. So I'm just gonna keep them in my pockets for now. But anyway, we are talking about a tool brand called Kouros Tools. Now, every now and then somebody comes along, creates a product or brand that absolutely changes the woodworking tool industry. And today is no different. I've got some of the products in my shop. I use them on a daily basis. And I wanted to make a video because I couldn't keep it a secret from myself. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's go run through some of their products and yeah, let's just go. I'll see you on the other side. Bye. Come on. So one of my favorite products from Kouros Tools is their vacuum pad system, right here. Now you may be wondering, what is a vacuum pad system? Well, it's simple. It's a system that uses a vacuum pump and suction cups where the vacuum pump pulls air through air hoses to create a suction on the workpiece and allows you to do any kind of woodworking operation when it comes to sanding, edge banding, or any other kind of operation you can think of to use where you may need an extra hand in keeping the workpiece still. So one of the many features that I love about this system is it's adjustable. It's designed to be run on aluminum extrusion, so you can simply take and undo a couple screws, and you can slide these anywhere on this piece of aluminum extrusion all the way down my workbench, and no piece is too small or too large, and I can clamp it down and hold it securely. So that's just one of the many features that I love about this system. Now there are mounting holes. If you want it in a fixed location, you can do that as well. I went with the adjustable route and I haven't looked back. So another great feature with the clamping system is the clamp itself and the adjustments you can make. If you had a piece fastened down here and you need to get to the other side, you don't have to unclamp it to do it. The top simply spins around. You have full motion 360 degrees. But wait, we're not done there. So let's just say you want to work on the edge of a piece. Well, it's simple as undoing these right here. And then you have positive stops to get you in different spots to work on any kind of edge profile or to make the piece comfortable to you when you're trying to work on it. When I say Kouros Tools thought of it all, they thought of it all. I mean, how cool is that? Full range of adjustability on the clamp itself. Another really awesome feature on this system are the interchangeable pads. I have had a couple occasions where the pad was too large or I needed a smaller pad or a bigger pad. And luckily I didn't have to worry about it because I can undo the two screws up here at the top and simply replace it with a larger pad or slightly smaller pad or even a really tiny pad. So having the interchangeable pads is really nice and it's a great feature that I'm glad that was included with this clamping system. So now that I've talked about all the different features that come packed with the vacuum clamping system, I want to show you how it operates. It's very easy. First thing we want to do is turn on the vacuum pump itself. Now that I have the vacuum pump on, we can simply lay our piece on the clamp and now it's not going anywhere, as you can see. And we can spin it around in any different orientation we want it. We can even get it at 90 degrees and we can get to all four sides and we can lock it down when we're working on the workpiece. It's that easy. And when we're done, we can simply press the foot pedal on the ground. It releases the piece. We can add the next piece, or if we're done, we simply turn off the vacuum pump. And what do you know? That easy. So you may be wondering what all comes with the Kouros Tools vacuum clamping system. And that's what's so awesome about this system is its versatility, and you have tons of different options at checkout. So make sure you visit kurostools.com, select the option that best fits your needs, and it's that simple. So I gotta be honest, this is probably my favorite tool from Kouros Tools. This is their door and face frame clamping system. I've had this system in my shop now for probably 6 months and I could not imagine life without it. Being a cabinet shop, I do a lot of doors, a lot of face frames, and it makes the job and the task that much easier and that much more enjoyable with this. I had no idea something like this existed. I ran across it on Instagram, and it has absolutely changed my shop, and I just couldn't live without it. With that being said, I want to show you some of the features and different ways you could possibly use this in your shop. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the work surface itself. These are 20 millimeter dog holes spaced out 43 millimeters on center. And this allows me to move the clamps anywhere on this grid system to give me tons of options when it comes to clamping. And what's really neat about this work surface is you're not limited to the size. You can go as big as you want or as small as you want. Doing a lot of cabinet doors and face frames, I went with a 4x8 and I haven't looked back. I love the size of it and I think it's perfect. So when it comes to drilling these holes, you do have to be very accurate. Luckily, I was able to get this done on my CNC machine, but if you don't have access to a CNC machine, you can purchase a drill guide from KourosTools.com that will help you drill all these holes precisely. That way, all your clamps fit like they're supposed to. So you may be asking yourself, how does this whole thing work? Well, the answer is simple. It runs on pneumatic air. So basically, you have a supply line that comes into a regulator and then leaves the regulator to supply air to the clamps. Now, if you want to get a little fancy and get crazy like I did, you can add multiple different shutoffs to control different tools. I have a shutoff that goes directly to the door clamps. Then I have a shutoff that controls the face frame part. And then I also have a shutoff for a pin nailer when I'm assembling cabinet doors. You can buy all these fittings from Amazon. They're pretty cheap. I'll link them down below. But when you do purchase this kit, you will get some of these fittings in the kit, so just keep an eye out for that. But very awesome, very easy to use, and once again, all you need is an air compressor. So when it comes to the Kouros Tools door clamping system, we have to talk about the clamps themselves. Now these are pneumatic cylinders controlled by pneumatic switches. Basically, in short, once you engage the switch, the cylinder activates and applies the pressure to whatever it is you're trying to glue up. Located on the top of the clamp, we have a handle. This handle is there to help you easily remove the clamp from the grid system and place it anywhere you see fit. Located directly on the bottom of the clamp are its little feet, and this is what allows it to move pretty much anywhere on this grid system, giving you tons of options when it comes to clamping pressure. I absolutely love the fact that they went ahead and made this out of metal so you don't have to worry about anything breaking or binding. These parts, combined with a little bit of 3D printing, produces this awesome looking clamp. Not only does it look great, but it functions even better. So now that we've discussed the door clamping system, let's talk about the face frame clamping system. What we have here is a piece of 4080 aluminum extrusion. And on this aluminum extrusion, we have our clamps. Now these clamps are friction fit. What does that mean? Well, it's pretty cool. I can actually move these clamps along the aluminum extrusion and I don't have to worry about tightening anything down. And this aluminum extrusion is mounted to 2 linear guide rails, creating basically like a gantry-like system that allows us to move along the whole work surface. I mean, how cool is that? No spot is untouchable. Like mentioned previously on the door clamping system, the face frame clamping system also uses pneumatic cylinders and pneumatic switches. The switches are slightly different on this because these are a push style and the door clamps are more of a toggle style. But we also have 3D printed parts that look awesome and make up the actual clamp itself. I mean, how neat is this face frame clamping system? So one thing I want to mention, if you buy any one of these systems and you're building out your work surface, you do want to have a 90-degree corner, whether that be on the right side or the left side. This is going to be where you reference all your glue ups. On the bottom, I just went with 2 3/4-inch strips because I wanted a little bit more meat, so when I put my workpiece up here, I don't have to worry about it slipping or coming off. And then on the side is a piece of 2-inch aluminum, and it runs from the bottom all the way to the top. And right here, I have a perfect 90-degree corner to reference all my workpieces off of. So now that I've talked about the door clamping and face frame system from Kouros Tools, we're going to put together a cabinet door just so you can see how fast and efficient this tool actually is. So the time has finally come for me to show you the process of gluing up a cabinet door using the door clamping system from Kouros Tools. So with that being said, let's jump straight into it. First thing we're going to do is grab one of our stiles. I'm going to reference it right here on this 90-degree corner like I talked about. And then the next thing we can do is go ahead and grab one of our rails. Squirt a little bit of glue. And we'll stick that right here. Now, like I said, that's a perfect 90-degree corner, so I know this is going to be 90 degrees. Next thing we can do is grab our panel, slide it in here, grab our other rail, Add a little bit of glue. Once we have that, we can grab our last style in just a second. We're going to put some glue up here. Now we can take our last style, apply it, make sure we're all good on all corners, and we are. And then as simple as bam, now we are fully glued. But I use pin nails, so at this point, I can take my rag wherever it's at and just wipe a little bit of that glue squeeze out. And then, simple, take my pin nailer, I shoot 2 pin nails in each corner. And release. And just that fast, a cabinet door is glued up, pin nailed, and I'm ready for the next door. All right, so now that we've talked about the door clamping portion of this whole thing, I want to show you now the face frame system and how easy this is to use. Once again, I'm going to show you in real time so you can see just how fast and efficient this tool can make you. So for educational purposes, I'm not going to be using wood glue, and I will be using some pretty much off-cut maple. We're going to pretend like this is my face frame. So with that being said, first step we're going to do is stick one of our stiles over here in the corner, and then we want to take one of our rails, another piece of our face frame, and basically butt it right up to it. Now we want to use this reference corner because we know this is 90 degrees. And after we do that, we'll go ahead and take our face frame clamping system over here. We'll drop one of our friction fit clamps right here and get it about where you want it. Once you have it where you want it, engage the clamp. Once the clamp is engaged, we can go ahead and take our pocket hole screws and run them in. Once we have that screwed in, we can go ahead and release the clamp. And now we have a perfect 90-degree corner with our stile and our rail for our face frame. So now that we have the first step complete in attaching our first rail to our stile, the next thing we want to do is add another rail. Now I will go ahead and tell you the best thing you can do when it comes to building face frames, throw away the tape measures. Cut you little spacers, it makes it that much easier. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and put our spacer right here, and then we'll take our next rail and stick it right on top. Once we have it secure and it's in place, we can go ahead and engage the clamp. Once the clamp is engaged, we can add pocket screws, and then we have another part of our face frame complete. So now that we've screwed our last stile in with pocket screws, we can go ahead and release the clamp. And now we have a beautiful face frame. Well, kind of. I mean, this is educational purposes only, so face frames typically look a little bit different, but you get the point. So now that I've shown you just a couple different ways you can use this cabinet door and face frame clamping system from Kouros Tools, there are tons of different things you can do with this system. You can do panel glue ups, cutting boards, anything that needs to be glued up, this system can handle it. And this is such a fantastic product built by a great company. I cannot speak highly enough about this product. I use it all the time in my shop, and it's just a joy to use. So make sure you visit that link in the description, kurostools.com. There are tons of different options at checkout. Go get you one. With that being said, let's go to the next tool. So the next product I want to talk about from Kouros Tools are these little sander lights. These things are fantastic. They are custom made for certain makes and models of sanders. I have a couple of them right here for mine, and they have a LED strip that goes around the front edge. So basically when you get down surface level, the light helps identify so you can eliminate any blemish or any swirl mark in your workpiece before you apply finish. So real quick, I just want to show you how easy it is to actually attach the sander light to your sander. I have the Festool ETS EC125. There are no tools necessary. It's easy to put on and easy to remove. You simply just spread the bracket open a little bit and it snaps right around the ring up there. And now I have a light attached to my sander to be able to sand out any swirl marks when needed. So when looking at this piece of white oak, I can obviously see I've got to do some sanding over here in the corner, but I can't really see much here in the middle. It looks pretty decent to me. But when you put this sander over here with the light, you can start highlighting different scratches and marks all through the center that I couldn't really notice before. So that's one thing that's really awesome about this product, is it allows you to be able to sand and move along your wood piece and continue to get marks out before you apply your finish. So when it comes to picking out your sander light, just make sure you choose your make and model. There are over like 50 available on the website, so just make sure you choose the right one. With the kit, you get the sander light, of course, which is the 3D printed LED mounting bracket, and then you also get the power cable. The power cable is like 16 feet long. You can attach it to your dust hose to keep it out the way. And also, for $5 more, I recommend picking up this little on and off dimmer switch. I absolutely love the fact that I have this, so if I'm sanding and I don't need the light, I can easily turn it off. I don't have to unplug it. It's just a little touch button right here. It's touch sensitive, turns the light on, turns it off, and if you hold your finger there, it'll dim it or it'll brighten it. Super awesome little attachment. So if you're interested in picking up one of these sander light kits, make sure you visit KourosTools.com. There are tons of different make and models for all sorts of sanders, and I'm sure there's a sander light for you. So last but certainly not least, I want to talk about Kouros Tools miter clamps. They come in a couple different sizes. We have 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch. And if you're doing any kind of case work or you need to glue miters, these things are phenomenal. So if we take a closer look at the Kouros Tools miter clamp, we can see that it is a 3D printed clamp but packs powerful features. The unique design allows it to operate flawlessly. We have small little screws right here, as you can see, that bite into the outside of the workpiece, and once you engage this lever, this part right here comes down and moves in an upward motion, pulling together that miter nice and tight to create the perfect glue joint. All right, so I'm going to do my best to kind of show you how this clamp works and show it to you kind of in action. First thing I want to do is go ahead and apply some glue to my miter. And once I have some glue applied, I'm going to smear it around a little bit, try to get it all over the glue surface. All right, now that I have that glue, we can go ahead and put together my miter. Once I have the miter where I want it and it looks good, I can go ahead and bring the clamp down and I can engage the lever, and what that's going to do is once it goes all the way nice and tight, it's going to lock down that miter. And as you can see, I have lots of glue squeeze out. I can just smear that if there's any little small gaps or cracks in my miter that I cut, and we have a secure, tight clamp on that miter. I mean, how awesome is that? It works fantastic. So you do need to keep in mind when you're using these miter clamps that you will get small little holes around the perimeter. I'm not really sure if you can see that or not, but you could easily fill these, sand it, and it goes unnoticeable. Or you can build it a little bit larger and you can shave a 1/16 off each side, and then you don't have to worry about filling any holes. But another awesome product from Kouros Tools. I love the miter clamp. It's easy to make miters and clamp them up, and it works every time. But that is going to be a wrap on this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The secret is out. Kouros Tools. So make sure you go visit KourosTools.com. Especially if you want to see any of the products I featured in this video. They have tons of other products and they're constantly evolving and changing the woodworking game. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. It greatly helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to subscribe, hey, I'd appreciate it. Till then, I'll see you guys on the next one. I woke up in a new Bugatti. Woo!